Welcome back, YouTube. A couple weeks ago I did a video on which of the pickaxes was actually the best in game, and I'm finally getting around to taking a look at the wood cutting axes. I switched up how I presented everything to kind of make things flow and move along a little bit quicker, but before we get into the data, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Now this video was a little bit more tricky than the pickaxe one because of the varying sizes of the trees that range in hit points. For this test I took the largest tree that has the most amount of hit points. Now I can't say for 100% how much hit points each tree actually has, but I do know it's somewhere around the 80 health range. Similarly to the last test, I start off with the normal hit and the rest of the hits were critical. I also use special attacks when available. Similarly to the stone nodes, the large trees drop between 30 and 36 wood, so for this test, we're just going to assume that each tree is dropping 36 wood for research purposes. Now, one thing I noticed between both the pickaxes and the axes was that each tool has a range of damage values, particularly for critical hits, and every single one hits for the highest damage of that range of values, except for one. The bait and chop that you get from the fisherman is the only one that has a range of damage done and does not always hit for the highest crit. I don't know if this is a bug or if it's by design, but I just found it interesting. Anyways, let's get into the axes. Starting with the iron hatchet, not to be confused with the iron axe, is the starter axe and obviously will not be the best tool for cutting down trees, but will give us a good baseline. It's got a 5% crit resource bonus and has an average attack speed with no special attacks. As we can see, it takes roughly 12 seconds to bring down a large tree, which gives us 3 wood per second, which from now I will abbreviate to WTS just because I'm lazy. Factoring in the crit resource bonus, we were actually looking at 3.04 WPS. Next we have the iron axe, which is a small upgrade from the iron hatchet. Its crit resource bonus is 15% and also has an average attack speed with no special attacks. As we can see, it takes roughly 10 seconds to bring down a large tree, which gives us 3.6 WPS. Factoring in the crit resource bonus, we're actually looking at 3.72 WPS. Next we have the steel axe, which is an even smaller upgrade from the iron hatchet. Its crit resource bonus is 20% and also has an average attack speed, but this guy has the underhand strike as its special attack. As we can see, it takes roughly 7.17 seconds to bring down a large tree, which gives us 5 WPS. Factoring in the crit resource bonus, we were actually looking closer to 5.22 WPS. Next, and possibly one of my favorite tools in-game, is the chop arg, which you get from the pirate. Besides the awesome name, it's one of the only tools in-game that has an interesting mechanic behind it where the last crit hits for almost 4 times the normal crit, but it also ends the crit string of attacks, so you'd have to start over if you didn't fell the tree with the final strike. Its crit resource bonus is 30% and also has a fast attack speed, and this guy has a backhand strike as a special attack. As we can see, it takes roughly 6.39 seconds to bring down a large tree, which gives us 5.63 WPS. Factoring in the crit resource bonus, we're actually looking at 5.96 WPS. Next up is the bait and chop, which I briefly talked about in the beginning that you actually buy from the fisherman. Interestingly enough, it's worse than the iron axe and just a really shit tier overall for an item you buy from a vendor. I wish the devs gave the bait and chop an interesting mechanic like the chop arg, and who knows, maybe when they add fishing in the game they'll change up how the fisherman tools work. Anyways, its crit resource bonus is 10% and also has a fast attack speed, and this guy has no special attacks. As we can see, it takes roughly 9.82 seconds to bring down a large tree, which gives us 3.67 WPS. Factoring in the crit resource bonus, we're actually looking at 3.75 WPS. Now we're getting into what I consider to be the top tier axes. The Golden Saxon is next, which has a 100% crit resource bonus, and also has a high attack speed and the whirlwind special attack. As we can see, it takes roughly 6.39 seconds to bring down a large tree, which gives us 5.63 WPS. Factoring in the large crit resource bonus, we were actually looking at 6.57 WPS. And last but certainly not least, we've got the Ford's Axe, which you can find in the woodcutter's hut deep within the ancient caves. It's my favorite design by far on the axes because of that beautiful blue glow. Its crit resource bonus though is pretty bad, coming in at 10%, also has an average attack speed and an overhand special attack. As we can see, it takes roughly 5.13 seconds to bring down a large tree, which gives us 7.02 WPS. Factoring in the crit resource bonus, we were actually looking at closer to 7.1 WPS. Similarly to the pickaxes, the forge tool comes out on top purely because of its high damage output. Other takeaways from this though, the Golden Saxon is a solid second option due to its high crit resource bonus gain. and a great budget option is a chop arg. I hope this video is helpful, as I enjoyed finally putting to bed what woodcutting axe is best in game. If you have any comments or questions, please drop them in the comments section below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of this great content. Until next time, YouTube, peace out.